Unvanese power outage recorded nationwide as workers shut down transmission stations. Lecturers strike to continue as meeting between the Academic Staff Union of Universities and federal government ends in deadlock. And the ruling All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Bola Tinubu and former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo meet behind closed doors in Ogun State. It's good to have you join us on News Now. I am Mary Kanu. The electricity distribution companies DISCOs have alerted Nigerians to a likely nationwide blackout due to the ongoing nationwide strike action by members of the National Union of Electricity Employees. The union on Tuesday directed its members to go on strike over contravention of workers' conditions and default on the payment of entitlement by the Transmission Company of Nigeria. Although the TCN appealed to the workers to suspend the proposed strike, assuring that steps have been taken to resolve the issues, the union's leadership ordered the shutdown of power stations in Abuja as well as Kaduna. Reacting to the development, distribution companies say they are currently experiencing disruption of power supply due to the strike. Meanwhile, the Minister of Labour, Chris Ngige, has invited the electricity workers for an urgent meeting in Abuja. Well, still on the ongoing nationwide crisis by the electricity workers in the country, the Minister of Power, Aliyu Abubakar, has assured that relevant stakeholders are working round the clock to resolve the situation. Abubakar made this known while speaking to newsmen after the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja on Wednesday. The minister claimed that the protesting workers do not have issues with his ministry, but the head of service. He, however, assured that the issues will be resolved sooner than later.
Working together, having discussions with the labor under the General Secretary Joe Ajero. They are working since trying to discuss the matters. It is not that Kaduna Disco is on strike, but they are trying to switch off the electricity due to the warning strike that they have been undertaking since yesterday. In fact, we have not been able to go into our offices. The issues they have is not particularly on having something to do with us, but together with something to do with employment issues with the head of service, and so that's the reason why they are now having that discussions.
Meanwhile, the minister has also justified the federal government's inability to achieve the promised target of 5,000 megawatts of electricity generation for the country, saying it was due to shortage of gas supply. Abubakar explained that although the government had entered into a firm contract with the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading PLC, power generation had remained around 4,000 megawatts because of the problem of gas. He, however, assured that all required materials had now been sourced to resolve the problem, as his ministry is working round the clock to improve the situation.
We had a generation of over 4,000, around 4,600 megawatts. And you know, we told you since 1st of July that we'll be able to raise it up to 5,000. When we activated the contract, and we have not been able to do so due to some issues around gas contracts, gas to power, which we are trying to take care. And once we do that, we have gone very far with that. And I believe it's for that reason that we are able to reach up to 4,600 as of yesterday. In the morning, this morning, it dropped to 4,100. So this is what is happening. You will be experiencing this fluctuation due to all these issues around gas to power, because gas is not something that we control directly. You have to pay them. You have to pay gas. They will not give you gas until you pay. So we are looking at ways to solve that issue. It is the reason why we are unable to reach that 5,000 we promise you by July 1st of this year.
Well, now to education. The meeting between the Academic Staff Union of Universities and the federal government has again ended without an agreement. This means the 6-month-old strike by public university lecturers is set to continue. The striking lecturers had met with the Professor Nimi Briggs Committee on Tuesday at the National University Commission in Abuja with high hopes of resolving the issue, but members of the Briggs Renegotiation Committee did not come up with any new offer on the table. Instead, the committee pleaded with the lecturers to suspend the ongoing strike with promises that their concerns will be included in the 2023 budget. The meeting lasted for about 3 hours without any agreement reached. And the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, is considering the funding of education centers and facilities for the Nigerians in diaspora to boost promotion of exploits of the Nigerian diaspora community. The Executive Secretary, Sonny Achono, made this known when the Chairman and CEO of NIDCAM, Abike Dabiri-Arewa, visited his office in Abuja. Achono, who commended the NIDCAM boss for her laudable efforts in harnessing potentials of Nigerians in diaspora, explained that the partnership between the two organizations will promote and assist the diaspora in initiating modern research and innovative techniques.
Talking about brain drain, brain gain, but we now focus on brain population, which is what is happening. So you can't stop people from migrating, but at the end of the day, it's still an advantage back home. There's so much we can do with the diaspora, and we look forward to achieving that with your partnership, with your cooperation.
Those 3 requests: resuscitating leads, creating a center for research for the diaspora community in Ibadan, as well as promoting the exploits of our diaspora community. We will work extensively with all the stakeholders, particularly with NUC, to see how we grow that partnership in the education sector. And we expect any Nigerian that is out there, you see something good, you see advancement, you see modernization, you see innovation. The first thing that should occur to you is, how do I take this back to my country so I can also create similar conditions or similar benefit stream for my people? And as long as we have Nigerians who are out there doing just that, we pledge that we will find ways and bridges to reach them and communicate with them, and also bring them to come and contribute their quota to our national development.
So politics now. The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, has met with former President Olusegun Obasanjo behind closed doors in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Details of the meeting are yet to be made known, but there were reports that it is not unconnected with the 2023 general elections and Tinubu's ambition to emerge Nigeria's next president. Since the former governor of Lagos State began his presidential bid, this is the 3rd time he will be visiting Ogun State, but the first time visiting Obasanjo, his political rival. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, the Ogun State Governor, Dakpo Abiodun, the former interim chairman of the APC, Bisi Akonde, were among those present at the meeting. And the former Chief of Army Staff and Minister of Interior, retired General Abdulrahman Dambazo, has warned of the activities of terrorists in the north and other secessionist groups in the country prior to the 2023 general elections. Dambazo expressed the concern while delivering a paper titled 2023 Politics, National Security and Nigeria Stability at the 2021 Blueprint Public Lecture and Award Ceremony in Abuja. Our correspondent Emeka Amako compiled this report from Abuja.
It is the 2021 Blueprint Newspapers Public Annual Lecture and Impact Series Awards, an occasion put together by the management of Blueprint Newspapers Limited to honor some prominent individuals and organizations in the society who have proved their worth in specific areas of governance and human endeavors. The event is also dedicated to finding workable solutions to the challenges associated with elections, national security, as well as peace and stability of the country. In his keynote address, the former Chief of Army Staff, retired Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambazao, called for a pragmatic approach to address the issues of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, as well as any group which could have far-reaching consequences on the 2023 general elections.
I have no doubt in mind, as well as in the mind of all here present, that the organizers of this event we are witnessing today have made a giant and invaluable timely contribution in both political, critical information and communication, sharing a diverse landmass called Nigeria.
The need for peace and security to conduct transparent, credible, and acceptable elections for good governance and development cannot be overemphasized. It therefore becomes obvious for all of us to make sacrifices and consider national interests above personal interests for a free, peaceful election in 2023.
In his welcome address, the chairman and publisher of Blueprint Newspapers Limited, Mohammed Idris, called for increased synergy and partnership between the media and the government in tackling security challenges in the country.
We want to therefore use this opportunity to call on the federal government of Nigeria, on whose shoulders rests our national security, to do more to protect lives of citizens from terrorists, bandits, and other militias that are rampaging our cities, forests, and creeks. Our security challenges must be overcome at all costs. Critically, we must not allow the issue of insecurity to define the debate of 2023.
The panelists believe that insecurity is not entirely beyond Nigeria, adding that the menace will be eradicated if the political elites are willing.
There is no blueprint for security sector reform. There is no, this is the way it is done in America, this is the way it is done in Germany. Each nation is going to develop what is appropriate for its own environment, but it needs the backing of the political system. And that is why, for us to achieve whatever we are going to achieve, this must be key in the agenda on whoever is going to lead the nation in the coming dispensation.
Insecurity is a recurring phenomenon in Nigeria that continues to threaten its over 200 million population, which is why the issue of tackling insecurity continues to take prominence at gatherings like this.
To state matters now, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has reiterated his administration's commitment to deliver the 27 kilometers Lagos Blue Line rail mass transit by December. Governor Sanwo-Olu made the promise during the launch of the last track beam of the rail track on Wednesday. Speaking at the launch, Sanwo-Olu said the achievement signposted his administration's commitment to bring in succor to Lagosians and give them choices in mass transportation. The governor maintained that the rail projects represented the audacity of his administration's vision to deliver a robust, integrated transit system as encapsulated in the traffic management and transportation pillar of his government's development agenda. Well, we'll take a break here, but still to come, UK inflation hits a new 40-year high as food prices rocket. We'll bring you details of the story and more right after this break.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back. Now a recap of some of our top stories tonight. The electricity distribution companies, DISCOs, have alerted Nigerians to a likely nationwide blackout due to the ongoing nationwide strike action by members of the National Union of Electricity Employers. The union on Tuesday directed its members to go on strike over contravention of workers' conditions and default on the payment of entitlements by the Transmission Company of Nigeria. Although the TCN appealed to the workers to suspend the proposed strike, the union's leadership ordered the shutdown of power stations in Abuja as well as Kaduna. We also told you that the meeting between the Academic Staff Union of Universities and the federal government has again ended without any agreement. This means the 6-month-old strike by the public university lecturers is set to continue. The striking lecturers had met with the Professor Nimi Briggs Committee on Tuesday at the National University Commission in Abuja with high hopes of resolving the issue, but members of the Briggs Committee did not come up with any new offer on the table. Well, in case you missed any of the news bulletins or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. And now to COVID-19 stories and updates. Newly updated COVID-19 boosters tailored to target a dominant strain of the virus will be available in the United States in the next 3 weeks. White House COVID coordinator Ashish Jha made the disclosure at an event hosted by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation. Jha also said authorization by the Food and Drug Administration and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will provide enough vaccine supply for any adult who wants a new booster shot, adding that the White House had poured $5 billion to cover the cost of vaccines for this fall and winter. And India has reported 9,062 new COVID-19 cases and 36 deaths in the last 24 hours. This is according to data released by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. According to the update, active cases in the country went down to 105,058, while the daily positivity rate declined to 2.49%. India reported 15,220 recoveries in the last 24 hours, taking the total recoveries to over 43 million. We'll take a break and return with business, international and sport updates, to stay with us.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, and use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. We're now joined Semisola Adigun for the latest business update. Semisola, over to you.
Many thanks, Mary. Welcome to Business News. Nigeria's annual inflation rate has surged to a 17-year high to 19.64% as rising cost of goods and services continue to take its toll on the country's currency and livelihood of its citizens. The latest figures are contained in a report released by the National Bureau of Statistics. The report also shows that food inflation rose to 20.02% in July, an uptick compared to 20.60% in June. Our correspondent, Mary Kanu, now reports.
Just as economists had predicted, Nigeria's inflation rate climbed higher to a 17-year high, its highest rate recorded since September 2005. A visit to a market in the Ogba area of Lagos State shows the prices of different foodstuffs saw a steady increase over the period of 3 months. According to the sellers here, a bottle of palm oil, which was sold at 600 naira 2 months ago, is now being sold at 900 naira. Half a pint of beans, which was sold at 1,000 naira a month ago, is now being sold at 1,500 naira. A cup of rice sold at 300 naira 3 months ago is now sold at 600 naira.
The price of this plantain was 500, but now it's now 1,000. It's not even about the price increase. Even there is scarcity. There is even scarcity in the market. Before we get to buy, we need to book down with the farmers before we see to buy. Even it's affecting us that are selling it because we don't get to sell like we sell before.
You cannot buy common tomato in the market, common rice, common beans, common. You can see how the market square it is. So it's not good at all.
A breakdown of the data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that the food inflation rate in July declined by 0.01% to 2.04% in month-on-month contrast against the 2.05% rate recorded in June 2022.
The inflationary phenomenon is a very disturbing one. It's very worrisome, and it has been taking a huge toll, not only on businesses, but also on the welfare of the people. There's a lot of pain on the part of the people. It's aggravating the poverty situation. And it's something that I think the government needs to tackle as a matter of urgency, as a matter of emergency.
The economic interpretation of the rising inflation number means that Nigerians are not able to purchase as much goods and services with their monies as the value of their income has been eroded due to rising costs.
We know that the government is causing is much, but there are ones that we're causing ourselves. I tell people that sell food, this is when they make gain, not before, now. You know why? Because when you want to talk, they say, price of things have gone up. You have no choice. When they say rice 100, is it $100?
I do give my wife, if I give her 3,000 to 5, at least when I go to my mate, something tangible to take. But now, if I manageably, if I give her 5K now, 5,000, they will have to call me back that the money doesn't buy anything in the market.
The United Nations Development Programme says the Russia-Ukraine crisis will continue to have devastating effects on the global economy, resulting in rising energy and food costs, while in Nigeria, the World Bank has estimated that inflation would likely push an additional 1 million people into poverty by the end of 2022. Mary Kanu, TV360, Nigeria.
We'll take a short break here and be back with stock market reports. Nigeria's equities market closed in the red zone on Wednesday, following the report on record 19.64% rise in inflation rate. The market decreased by 0.04% as investors recorded a 10 billion naira loss. At the close of the trading session, the benchmark all-share index and market cap also decreased from preceding day's high to 49,691 basis points and 26 trillion naira. From 16 decliners, Cotfield Business Solution and Scoa Nigeria occupy bottom position with a loss of 2 naira 21 kobo. Inversely, Prestige Assurance Company and Sovereign Trust Insurance are Wednesday's top advancers with a combined gain of 75 kobo. Investors traded 128 billion volume of shares with a market value of over 4 billion naira in 3,492 deals. Now moving on, global equities fell on Wednesday, ending in the bear market rally, no thanks to a spike in global bond yields. See here are select stocks, FTSE and US Dow Jones end in the bears. Asian markets closed higher. Japan's Nikkei stock index rallied to a new 7.5-month high on economic optimism, so it is in the bulls at 1.23%. That's all on stock. Back to you, Mary.
Many thanks to Mr. La for the update. We move over now to the global scene where British inflation surged to a new 40-year high in July on soaring food prices. Official data released on Wednesday have shown, adding to a cost of living crisis as the country faces the prospect of recession. Data from the Office for National Statistics shows the Consumer Prices Index accelerated to 10.1% last month from 9.4% in June, itself a 4-decade high. The Bank of England warned earlier this month that UK inflation will climb to just above 13% this year, which would be the highest level since 1980. It comes as Britain endures a cost of living crisis, with wage values falling at a record pace. And now with sport, Nigeria's Falconets will be back in action at the 2022 FIFA Women's World Cup in Costa Rica when they face Canada in their last Group C game. The game is billed for their Stadio Alejandro Morera on Thursday, August 18 at 3 a.m. The Falconets will go into the tie on the back of 2 wins against France and South Korea, which sealed qualification into the quarterfinals. The Falconets, with 6 points, top the group, and this year's tournament will be the 4th time Nigeria and Canada will clash in the history of the Under-20 Women's World Cup. Well, that's our package this evening. Many thanks for watching. I am Mary Kanu. Bye for now.